Huge team fight. And yeah, I was right. So that's going to be Cho'Gath support.
This draft is already coming together really interestingly.
So I have secret insider information. The pick order for Triple V was Hecarim, Senna, Cho'Gath, Orianna, and Shen.
Yeah.
Okay, so just not quite having the champions, but
not quite.
Either way, ultimately, both these comps, especially Manhattan Project. I mean, I don't think there's a single non-AoE ultimate in their kits, right? That's all just, we want to lock you up on one spot and burn through your whole health bar. And that's our plan. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
All of them are.
There's no sound, right? Scott, back on sound effects. You got this, King.
Remembering it's arcade misfortune, so we need lots of arcade sounds as well.
Plop, boom, boom, plop.
There we go, we're going to see the first gank of the game.
Moist one into the mid lane, getting damage down on to Vince, but it looks like he's just going to work out the red buff ban. But on the other side of the map, another gun comes out on the top lane, but yet again, they're going to find themselves both out safely, just taking a wee hit in their health bar. Vladimir's going to heal that back up. And Vin should hopefully be able to get all this wave on the tower, although Wukong hanging about might try and make his life a bit more miserable. 2 ganks, and so far, nothing on the map.
I feel like it's a mistake to gank the Vladimir here. When your laner is a Shen.
He's gonna heal it back, right?
Yeah, but like, I don't think you'll ever kill him if he never uses W.
Yeah, the only angle there is if he does use W in lane, which, I mean, if he's having to use W in lane, I feel like he's already messed up, like, in his positioning.
Yeah, but why would you want to, like, gank for Shen? Because, like, Shen is fine on his own. Like, he's not going to get any stronger than he is now, technically.
Shen is at the strongest point in the game at level 1.
Yeah, and then he's not your carry. Like, why are you trying to funnel him kills?
Could just be an attempt whilst they're there on the side of the map trying to get some proactive play going. I mean, in terms of scaling, an attempt might have to be made to sort of nullify some of these scaling picks, especially the Orianna and the Senna, as we were mentioning in draft. And I feel like, yeah, just trying to put resources into the Shen when you already have so many strong avenues to be looking into.
Because like Senna Cho'Gath is a really easy, not easy, but like it has a lane with a lot of setup. So why would you not spam gank it versus a Mumu MF?
Yeah, and I mean in terms of disengage, they don't have too much for a Mumu because all of Mumu's abilities obviously send him in. His Q can't really take him out unless he's like using the opposing minions to like get himself out, but that seems quite tricky. As we do see an attempt here from Wukong to maybe get him, but with his
Moist one going for the one-man gank, really ambitious project.
One-man gank. Hey, maybe he gets it. It's the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project was very ambitious in its.
Yeah, but it actually came to fruition, and that gank will never come to fruition 10 out of 10 times.
I mean, it happened. He got it done. It didn't do anything, but he did it.
Feb is definitely struggling into that lane at the moment.
Yeah, and here we see yet another gank onto the top lane. Into Enix, the ult comes down, the puddle comes out. Is he going to have the healing to get himself out? Does manage to get the ult ticked down, but Ares is on top of him. The Conqueror stacked up, the heal comes out, but it's not going to be enough. And the first blood goes down onto Ares. You thought that the Vladimir was unkillable, Scott, but not quite.
Good though by Moist one. He took the dragon. Obviously, he saw the Hecarim there. Free dragon taken. Kill for the dragon. Depends how you look at it. I think probably Ares is happy enough with that trade.
Yeah, first blood with the value that that's putting down, obviously going over to him as well. Always nice. And I mean, if ever there's a jungle champion that can absolutely run away with a game, literally run away with a game, Hecarim is 100% one of those.
Gardevoir's in trouble.
Bot lane, but Gardevoir chooses to go back in. The Shen ultimate pop, but using some fancy feet, he manages to get himself back in, but it's not going to be enough. Going down there in the bot lane, what looked like he could maybe turn it around was all of a sudden met with 1 billion points worth of shielding from both the Shenar and the barrier. Both sums weren't there in the bot lane in order to get that kill, so we could be seeing a little more action down there following that. But for the time being. That's going to be one more kill for Veni, Vidi, Vici.
Something I just
Amumu
want
not
to
only
note as
tossing his
well.
bandages, but also his life.
Nice. Something I want to say, look at the CS gap at the moment in mid. Like, the Swain has been really struggling into this matchup against the Orianna.
The Time Gear has been really playing aggressively and is not getting punished for it at all. It's free to just bully the Swain, isn't Orianna.
I mean, when we were talking about the strength at which Orianna scales into this late game, when you've got such a free time in the mid lane, up so much CS, that should be a very, very dangerous sign for Manhattan Project, saying, you know, we need to do something about this now before it gets out of hand.
I really like this by using Moist One again. They're just on the objectives almost as soon as they can. That's going to be a Rift Herald taken. Slowly. Taken.
Slowly, but they're on it. And just getting these things off the map away is just going to help that much more in dealing with this game. Being a Dragon up, being a Herald up, stops the snowballing potential a little bit for the time being. But just as I say that,
Oh.
man, the myth and the legend in the mid lane going to be going in, but immediately met with a counter gank from the Moist Swan. The ultimate comes out from both players, but it manages to get one kill for the side of Veni Vidi Vici. They're chasing down Moist Swan, and the command attack is going to pick that up. 2 for 0 in the mid lane.
And that's now an Orianna with 2 kills and nearly 30 CS lead at 9 minutes. And a blue buff as well. That is going to be absolute horrid now for Feb, as we see a gank in the top lane.
Immediately just met, knowing he can tank up the Hecarim abilities and just patiently wait for the Shen taunt to come out, dodging that. Manages to get out alive. Do these ganks maybe get trickier as this cooldown goes down? Because I feel like it could get a lot worse the more items that Vladimir gets under his belt.
Yeah, I mean, I think do you still level W last as Vladimir? So, you know, cooldown wise, it's purely from items, which I think will take a while more before the CDR actually starts to pile in.
You
So
have to
it's
think
not
about
too
that.
bad.
You have to think about that Shen can reliably pop the Sanguine pool, unless he goes all in.
Hmm.
But then you have like the ranged melee differential, so Vladimir could just like stay far away so that the E will never hit while blood transfusioning him.
Yeah, and I mean, the healing in this lane, we can kind of see here, even after getting attacked there by the Hecarim gank, he just manages to calmly get the wave in and resets. Gets himself off the map with no real consequences there for himself, other than maybe a little bit of missed form.
Phoenix, you missed the cannon!
Right,
Happens to the best of us.
we're not gonna talk about it, it's fine.
I mean, at this moment, 4 kills up. Obviously, yes, no Dragon, no Rift Herald, but I think Veni Vidi Vici are still feeling quite happy with their position right now.
I mean, with the kills coming down, especially where they are, obviously, you know, like Cho'Gath could take it or leave it, but with 2 kills, like you said earlier, being on the
Oh,
other
bot lane gank!
more aggression down into the bot lane. The ultimate's going to come out and kick back Gardevoir into the loving arms of the Cho'Gath. The nom nom nom's going to take him down, get another stack onto the board. However, that does mean it's not going to be up for this Drake, so maybe they look to contest this here for the side of Manhattan Project, even as a player down, maybe even look for the smite. But with their positioning, I think they are just giving this here.
It's so risky to go for it.
Yeah.
I've seen Moist One steal these.
I was
There we
hoping
go.
for it. I was hoping for the
Coward.
excitement, but the Drake has just traded back, and the soul that we are getting is going to be Hex Tech. This game, the
Strong
gates
soul,
have
eh?
opened, and
big
the
shockwave.
ultimate comes down, bringing February back in, but the damage is not quite enough. Guard there to respond, and the ultimate comes out from Moist One. This is some nice fighting from this team, but they do not quite manage to close it out, and Ares is going to arrive to clean it up. February 14 trying to tank up as much as he can, but he does not manage to get it through, and now they're chasing Gardevoir under tower, and it's going to be theirs. Another clean gank in the mid line, this time 3 for 0. The MF ultimate coming down, not managing to take out Enix having to burn the flash though to get out loads of action, but it's all coming up. Veni, Vidi, Vici.
That is in mid lane now, 2k gold difference. Just to let you know, that's a huge, huge spike in power as well. Orianna, when she back, should be able to get. What mythic is she going here? Is that going to be an Everfrost or Leandrice?
I think that's Leandri's.
Yeah. And also a 9-stack Dark Seal as well. Really good purchase there. As we see a fight in the mid lane, and I think he's actually going to go down. Not quite.
Getting chased, the Sanguine Pull is used, but he doesn't quite manage to get
He's going to die.
Now. Oh, just makes it out there. That was quite something.
I've never seen two people ghosting after each other like that. Vince with the
now
cheeky face.
Gardevoir might be caught out.
Yeah, another fight. Moist1 getting himself in the mix of things, but just going to get rooted up and get himself out. Gardevoir breaking the shield on the Scuttle. And we got the little Scuttle dance here. Moist1 wants this. He's hanging about. Does not have the smite to get it away. But we get taken away from the main focus. And I mean, look at these plates here. We've got so many gone in the mid lane for the side of Manhattan Project, but it is not outnumbering that 30 farm difference and the 4 kills that are on the enemy Orianna. That is such a huge lead for them, just like you mentioned. They're trying to claw back into this game, and the bounties will absolutely help them to do so. But at the end of the day, they are so far behind already, looking down almost 5k gold. We're coming close, sorry, to 4k. That's such a huge advantage for this.
That's
time
really
of the game.
big during this time of the game. 5k gold
Yeah.
is like. That's basically that all of your team has their mythic items or an item spike, while your team is still is on the components. And if you look at the items, it's you could say that statement is pretty true.
Yeah,
Except for
I mean,
Shen.
Yeah, but
the
we don't
Umbral-
got Shen. Shen doesn't farm.
The Umbral Glaive as well already purchased for the Senna, which is just so useful in preventing any sort of vision now for Manhattan Project.
And I mean, when it comes to vision denial, if you have no eyes on the map, the angles at which the Cho'Gath can appear from a bush or Hecarim can come running out at you, like, it's going to make it so much more harder for Davis to ever get close to the sort of misfortune wham bam setup that you're looking for with all these AoE abilities. It's going to make it really hard for them to play the game.
Maybe looking for a gank top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Moist1 rocking it in here with the taunt burn. They know they can go for it. The ultimate coming down. Spin to win onto both of them. Orange coming up into the top lane. They managed to get the kill off, and now it's just Ares in the middle of two. Can Yusuf survive and get out? Looks like he can. The Conqueror is
Orianna coming in.
Ares,
Fuck
but
lane.
time gear here to match just in time. Manages to get the kill down onto Wukong. Now it's Yusuf running for his life. And just manages to get the heal off, but does not manage to get out with his life. And just as we say, the wombo combo in the bot lane, more action happening onto the bot side, but the kill doesn't manage to land. And now it's Gardevoir who's bitten off more than he can chew. Davis gonna have to run away here, has to use the Gale Force to get himself out to safety. Lots of action, lots of craziness, and whilst they did manage to pick up one kill over on the side of Manhattan Project, it is yet again VVV answering back with 3 across the map.
I mean, the Orianna is just absolutely huge now. And the thing is, though, not only is the Orianna huge, but the Hecarim, I think we said earlier, the bull delivery system. When you've got Shockwave as well as what's the W called on Orianna, sorry?
Dissonance.
Dissonance as well for the extra speed up, which obviously for Hecarim translates to extra damage as well. It's just so easy now for Ares and Time Gear to go wherever they please and deal huge amounts of damage as a twosome. As we see them look to set up Dragon on spawn.
Yeah, straight onto this first Hextech Drake of the game. Moist1's going to be trying to take down this ward. If they do get a vision of it, will be interesting to see. Does he go for the steal here? He does not look to go for the attempt. They just give that one over, knowing that there's such deficit right now. They might need to try and get more items on board. But I mean, fundamentally, when we look at these two teams, specifically Veni, Vidi, Vici, and we were talking pre-draft, you know, who do they want to play around? We answered that question quite simply. It's a lot of Ares and a lot of Vince.
I
And
think it's
at the
pretty much
end of the
everyone
day-
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go far
Ultimately,
ahead,
everyone
doesn't
does
matter.
happen to be winning on the map. But if we want to draw a focal point, we can see just how well Ares and Time Gear have been playing around each other. The way the duos and the 2v2s have gone, not just in mid lane, but also on the top side of the map, have been stellar. Really showing off the ability for both of them.
I'm just going to do a quick check on the stacks for both Cho'Gath and Senna. We've got 74 stacks now on the Senna already, and how many? And 7 for the Cho'Gath. Those are very, very. That's a very tanky Cho'Gath and a lot of range. Sorry?
How much health is that?
An extra 560 purely, and he hasn't reached level 11. So when he gets level 11, that goes up significantly as well. I think it'll be around 800 bonus health.
So, other bit piece around the game, sort of, kind of. What do you think about the Gale Force MF? Because I don't think I've seen that at all.
I mean, it's useful in this context. You've got so much CC, having that little bit of extra, movement speed from its passive as well as obviously its active. It might be really useful. We saw it already. He was able to dodge out of a guaranteed death purely from the Gale Force active. I think in this situation, yeah, you're not using it for the damage. You just need to use it to survive, as we see again used just for that exact purpose.
Yeah, but if you don't do damage as an AD carry, why are you playing AD carry?
Fair enough.
It's an attack damage carry, not an attack escape carry.
My only understanding, or my only memory of the Gale Force build, I don't know if you guys remember right after the item rework came out, and it was where if Misfortune timed her ultimate and Gale Force at the right time, it would spread out the waves and it would cover a huge area. That's my last memory of ever seeing a Misfortune.
Oh, yeah.
Might see an engage here.
But speaking of Misfortune looking to engage, Davis is just going to be farming up the minions whilst this team is looking to get damage onto Zuma Akali. But the Cho'Gath is going to be just too tanky. An interesting teleport there coming out from Vladimir. Not going to be able to find anything on the map. Dragon down, it's going to be resources burned, but nothing gained there for the side of Manhattan Project.
We're going to see the second turret.
Gotta compliment the 10 CS a minute well behind from Davis here. Like, that's actually really impressive.
Man is a CS machine, knows where his priorities are at.
But Rift Herald popped down as well. Good use of the Misfortune ult, I guess, but still going to be the Herald put down.
Yeah, just going to get the damage off as is usual with the late game Herald. No plates to gain, so just going to try and get that bonk into the tower. Unfortunately, can't get any more, but it did require 4 of Manhattan Project just to respond to it. So,
in the meantime, though,
so much pressure there.
Mid lane turret did go down just from minion pressure. So, small victories for Manhattan Project.
Unfortunately, they're not going to claim the bounty on that as well, right? So that is, it's a nice little bit of extra gold, but not ideal. They are going to be, however, sitting down 6k gold deficit at 21 minutes, which is, I mean, that's absolutely huge. Just like a full 1,000 gold per player on average is a massive deficit to be trying to play out of, especially when the team composition scales as hard as that of VVV. They're just getting so strong here. And a pickup that I really like to see from Vince, the Magi's Soul Stealers in the 10 stacks.
I mean, yeah, I just had a look, and in terms of gold, he is almost exactly 3,000 gold ahead now, so he very much is in his right to be taking a Magi's. He's almost a full item now in gold up.
So, like, can I interrupt you for something? Because, like, I have devised a theory that's been secret until now, and I want to expose it to all of you now. It's called the Vince effect.
Go on.
People think that Vince is so fucking good that they literally just are paralyzed in fear. You know, like Pokemon, where you cast Thunder Wave and you're paralyzed and you have like 30% chance not to move. This is exactly the effect that's happening right here. And that's what caused February to lose the lane. Meanwhile, Dragon was taken, so my colleagues
Interesting. An interesting thing there as well, though, that was... Oh, a fight's going to break
The
out,
ultimate
sorry.
comes forward from Ares into the enemy team, but the exhaust is going to immediately go down on top of him, meaning the damage is cold. However, the Shen Shield going to try and keep him alive for that little bit longer, but he doesn't manage to get it, and now it's going to be Zuma Kali going down to follow. Yusef chasing down here, and this is 3 for 1 off of this Drake. What seemed like such a dire game for the side of Manhattan Project was all of a sudden turned around for the duration of that one fight. Now, don't get me wrong, they are still down 5k gold here, but that is a 3 for 1 with lots of big shutdowns coming through. So, Jens, do we think that changes the game state at all?
Yeah, because like Oriana also lost a lot of stacks. So like they literally deleted gold from the game by killing her. That I think that's a really big issue because the four stacks on Majai's is pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
And no more move speed passive, a lot of AP missing. It's quite a disaster for the side of VVV.
Also, a lot of that gold went onto the Vladimir, which I think at this point in the game is a really, really good thing. Vladimir, obviously late game, becomes such an issue to deal with. And getting, I think it was about over 1,000 gold purely from bounties. That's a huge amount. We are going to be hit with the pause.
Make that harder, and losing the movement speed as well on top of that is another thing. But we're back into game. We're back at it, and obviously a cheeky little League of Legends game freeze after a pause. That's always going to be the way. But
is this the one that we pause and then press play again? I can't remember if we need to do that.
No, I think you just need to wait till it catches up.
Cool. Oh dear. So there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Back into it now.
Challenger spectator.
So that is in what? That was about 24 minutes there. Just checking we're all synced up.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Sometimes, I mean, oh my god, I think
Big
I've
indie
experienced
company. Yeah.
every single issue to do with Riot Spectator client in the universe. But hey ho, we're sorted now. We're back in game. And
So what we're going to do is a stat check. How many? 97 at the moment for Senna, and the Cho'Gath as well. Like 8, so he's got all of his minions. He's gaining nearly 1,000 bonus health.
That's yeah. I mean, and they're only going to get bigger. They're only going to get chunkier and chunkier as this game goes on. So I feel like as much as hang on, just as I say that, Manhattan Project able to get picked down onto Eternal Aether in the mid lane, and Zoomer Akali not going to be short to follow. That's going to be 2 for 0. No shutdowns there, I do believe. But regardless, that is absolutely usually they're managing to find these picks and be able to turn this around. They could actually manage to turn around this state of the game. The question is, can they do it quickly enough to outpace the scaling of Veni, Vidi, Vici?
VVV, they've got Oriana, they've got Hecarim. They can turn this. They really can.
Yeah, I mean,
they know they're on Baron now.
Yeah,
Special delivery
Use is still on the tower in the top lane. The damage going down onto Enix. Enix having to flash out. That is a flashless Shen now in the top lane, and they're gonna call off the Baron, knowing that with Vladimir so low, that's not gonna be the ideal play to be looking for.
Yeah. And we're starting to finally see Davis. What are you doing?
No!
Don't run that way.
Oh my good flash over the wall though.
I mean, we are now starting to see the Manhattan project really coming out, the nuclear bombs that they want to get out. And, you know, if they can keep this up, if they can just look for fights where the Oriana isn't there or isn't able to quite use her combos effectively, then we may see them dragging themselves out of the pit that they created.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a huge deficit to climb, but they've climbed it. The lead has gone down from 6k now down to only 2k, which is not that insurmountable in any game. You know, there's still so many ways they could look to come into this game, but one thing that is going to force their hand very quickly is this Drake timer. We have soul point here for Veni, Vidi, Vici. If they get this, they have the soul in just 50 seconds. So that's really going to force Manhattan Project to show their cards here. Can they win the fight at just a 2k deficit? Is their composition, their wombo combo strong enough to get them back into this game, or is it just
Dabis!
a show?
Stepping up very, very close on that one.
He's just a Chad. He knows exactly what he's doing, as per always, testing the limits of every character he plays. I have full faith.
Shen is obviously just able to free hit top as well, because he has the ability to do that with the stand, whatever it's called. Stand United. There we go.
Part of our
And
throwing
we're going to
is
see...
over. The Curse of Sand Mummy does go through, but VVV Ares is on the backline, stopping Davis from being able to get that ultimate over, but the damage is still coming through. Davis goes down on the back half, but Zoomer Akali might not be far to follow. February 14th getting down onto multiple, and the kill does go through. Yusef is wrecking havoc onto this backline, and February 14th is managing to survive for a long time, but the end of the day, when the books are said and done, when everything is written, it's going to be a 5-for-2 clean wipe for the side of VVV. That's going to be sold, and that's going to be the gold lead back in their favor.
Yeah. And that is a huge, huge Dragon Soul as well for a Hecarim. And a Senna as well, particularly. It's the slow that I think is going to be so powerful now for the side of VVV.
Yeah, everything back onto the map. This is I feel like the attitude that Manhattan Project have to be having here is, okay, right, lost that fight, but you managed to pick up 2 kills on the back half. You managed to get things a little bit online. There was a glimpse of hope there. Try and work your way into it, but I mean, Scott, do you think that this is comebackable for Manhattan Project with Soul and everything going down?
Scoreboard is frozen, I'm trying to fix it.
No worries. It's looking pretty dire, I think.
All items
with or
disappear.
without the scoreboard.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, it's fixed.
Okay.
Cool. And we're back at 16 stacks on Lemon Hey.
There you go. It's all the way back up now. The gold's back in the game. But yeah, do you think this lead? Do you think Manhattan Project can make this back, or is this just curtains at this point in the game?
I think it's so difficult for them to go into this team now. Obviously, their whole thing was going in for the wombo combo, but you can't now. Orianna just one-shots everyone on the team. They're going to try for it. Swain is in.
The stopwatch there is absolutely massive. The ultimates do manage to come through, and the AoE is there, but the damage is just too much. It's a 1-for-2 trade so far in favor of Veni, Vidi, Vici, and the third is going to be knocked down. They can turn back onto the Baron here. There was a lot of damage that came out. The AoE did manage to land, and the Zonias had to be burned early in order to do so. So that meant when they came out of it, Manhattan Project just got ran through. And now this is going to be Baron for VVV.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's just not enough damage to get through the Shen, Hecarim, Cho'Gath combo. And now it's, it is so difficult for the Wukong and Amumu to find any effective angle onto the Orianna and Senna.
Yeah, I mean, the prowess of this composition really, I feel like, comes out when you are, the threat of the AoE combo means that should they start Baron, they should be really scared of, ultimate into all the AoE damage. But like you say, because the damage is just so little, they do not have to be anywhere near as worried about it as they otherwise would.
Another thing to think about is the extra ability haste from the Hexic Dragons means the Shen ult is on a relatively low cooldown. The Orianna ult is about 30 seconds. The Cho'Gath is able to get his feast up constantly. There's just so much more ability now for VVV to look when they shouldn't be able to look. And that's another thing, which is just meaning, the combo of God of War into Moist Swan's ultimates, they're not really effective when you've got so much less uptime to use them.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about that Shen ult that you mentioned, just checking it there, it's down to 108 seconds, so just under 2 minutes. That means, pretty much in league terms, that means it's going to be up for almost every fight, if not every fight. Unless you're absolutely skirmishing to the teeth, that is going to be ready every single time the VVV want to use it. And the fact that Enix can be anywhere on the map and no matter what, he can just instantly get into the fight. It's just going to make it so hard for Manhattan Project to find a good angle.
Yeah, and we're seeing, you know, with the Baroned up minions, that they're just slowly able to get through the base. Eternal Ether has, what, 120 stacks. That is an extra 120 range. So it's just able to go attack the turret from almost complete safety. And it needs to get another in the top lane.
I remember back in the good old days where they had to change Tristana because using her Q she had too much range, she could outrange a tower, and now you just have Senna doing stuff like this. Gonna be able to attack that camp from Narnia and auto attack from ranges far outside our visible universe. But hey, at the end of the day, the scaling pick has arrived. Senna's most certainly on the board at this point in the game. The damage that is coming out from her, even only on the 2 items, is absolutely huge.
I like this from VVV as well. They're not rushing, they're just using the Baron minions, forcing out all of the, you know, wave clear that they can. And that's all they need to do. They've obviously Baron's just run out now, but they've used it really effectively. That's going to be 3 turrets now taken if they can manage to get this last turret down.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be the Elder Dragon coming up in 30 seconds here, and short of a miracle steal from Moist Swan, I think it's going to be quite tricky for them to play with that up, because I mean, that is going to lead straight into either the game-winning fight, or it'll at the very least guarantee the Baron here for VVV. So, but there are a lot of recalls going down here, and there's not a teleport for either Cho'Gath or Orianna, both of whom just based.
Like that they're staying.
Davis to face check. The man tries to get back out using the Gale Force, and he just manages to survive for long enough. The Shen ultimate coming down onto Ares is going to keep him alive for so long. The healing on this champion is absolutely disgusting. It's a 1 for 3, 1 for 4 trade, and now VVV. It's all down to Yusuf. Manhattan Project, can they survive in this game? Vladimir can absolutely turn and do so much damage as the ghost comes out there from Time Gear, but you know who could do more damage? You're damn right, it's the Orianna. Comes out 5 for 1, and VVV are gonna end the game in style. They say we don't need the Elder Drake, we don't need the Baron buff, we'll push in the waves and win off of fights alone. Beautifully played there by VVV to close out their first game of the UNL season.
I mean, a very, very solid performance from everyone there, and that really goes to show. First game of the season, but they don't need any more games to prove their worth.